All right, we're live. It's the Spinnin Backfist MMA show for Monday, March 6th, UFC 285 edition. It's Robbie Fox, Big Ev, Jack Mack will be joining us in just a second. Big Ev was boots down in Las Vegas for this card. We had someone on the scene. First time in Las Vegas, first time getting to go to a fight in Las Vegas, obviously, if it was your first time in Las Vegas. Let's start there. How was the weekend?
Unbelievable. Great weekend. Great gambling weekend.
You could hear it on your voice. That's the sign of a good weekend right there.
I'm off a red eye. I got in this morning at 6 a.m. to Newark. Got home at like 7, maybe a little after. Slept for like an hour and a half and came here.
And this asshole slept through his alarm this morning. How about that? I felt so bad honestly, when I realized Ev was on the red eye. I was like, what a fucking
to be honest, I'm feeling much better right now than I expected I would be. But no, it was a fucking awesome weekend. I mean, the card was insane. I think I got there. We had a little, we got there pretty much like right as I was upset we missed the Gary fight. We got there pretty much right after.
All right.
But we were there for all the main films and all after. Insane card. The energy was great. It was interesting because the fights were so like it's like we got there for the first like good fight. Like it was the Marc-Andre Barrial and Marquez. That was a great fight. But it almost felt like as the card went on, the fight just got like better and better. And then the main card was just like incredible.
Lived up to the hype for sure.
To me, obviously, like John Jones is always going to be a standout, but truly the Neil Rachmanov was I'm glad that was incredible to watch.
That and then getting to see the moment of Grasso winning the title, was that insane?
Insane.
Crowd going insane, like the biggest pop of the night. Or Jones.
Yeah, what was the biggest pop of the night?
I mean, Jones for sure.
Yeah.
But the Jones one, it was almost so like there was a moment
shock,
where it was
right?
Shock because like think about it, no one got punched.
Yeah, it was like someone got kicked in the dick and then
he got choke. He got taken down.
And even the way it was so quick against the cage, I'm sure for the live crowd, it's not like you could see, it's a modified guillotine under the. Everyone was just like, wait, what just happened?
Even when I was watching, obviously on TV, I didn't even know what happened when he tapped. Everybody I was with was like, wait, what?
I know.
And then like you saw it and you could see that it was tight as fuck. Yeah. I mean, it was a great job by him, but. At first, everyone was looking around. I was like, wait, that's it? I mean, obviously, I mean, it was like you wanted a great fight, but I mean, if there's a first round submission, it's not. We've seen worse main events for sure.
Yeah, I think you because I noticed watching it like that. You saw it at first, he like didn't have it, then he like tightened it up, and I can imagine considering imagine John Jones, the pressure on his neck.
Yeah.
Then also he's up against the cage, so he's got nowhere to really like move backwards. And also his entire body weight's on top of your neck like this. His head probably felt like it was going to pop off.
I was going to say, it was probably, it might have been more pain than I'm about to go out. Like that's probably
felt like his neck was going to like explode.
Yeah.
He was that. I mean, that photo is so awesome of him shushing and then Gon's in the back. Just like he was in shock. Like
absolutely.
He was just like, oh my God, what just happened? Which
even at the press conference, he came off like he was still like, I don't know what I just fucking did in there.
Yeah. But I will say, he just didn't look good from the get-go. He didn't really throw anything, but I mean, sometimes it's a championship fight, 5 rounds. It takes a little bit to get into it, but there was a great clip on Twitter of somebody breaking down how Gon got taken down compared to what Neil did. There was a point in the fight where obviously we saw our Gon. When he got taken down, he kind of lunged for a punch.
Yep.
And then John, because he's so good, saw that, grappled, and then took his back immediately. Shavkat did the same thing. Neil lunged forward, and Shavkat was going to take him to go to the back. But Neil immediately went double underhooks and pushed him against the fence.
And Rogan pointed that out, I think, in the moment.
Yes.
Like, he's got underhook and overhook. Like,
yes.
And he was talking about that. That was such a fucking good fight.
Yeah, I left that. Like, that was, to me, I think, like, Jeff Neal, that was like his Gilbert Burns moment to me.
They said that on commentary.
I felt that watching.
Yeah.
I said it before, and then watching it, I was like, he clearly is like he belongs in this top like elite of this
That's
division.
what they said. They were like, everyone's stock is going to rise from this.
He clearly belongs. Like that was incredible.
Was that the loudest the place was?
I just was probably. The Grasso obviously was a big pop.
Just during some of those exchanges where they're like landing.
Nickel
like
got a huge pop, honestly, too. Like, when he got the submission,
sounded like it. Yeah,
that was a big pop for sure.
Which we talked about plus 100 on the Barstool Sports.
I mean,
that was awesome.
Well, I don't know if they're gonna do this to him or not. Like, I don't know if it's gonna be political with like him being this huge prospect, but I feel like this could be a no contest.
Oh, because of the nut shot. Because of the nut shot, I know.
Kickett's camp is disputing it. and I think they have like a. Not that I think he would have won or anything. I think it would have won a
Agreed.
similar way, but he has a real gripe.
He does. Because
he basically got kicked in the nuts. I got kneed in the nuts. He got taken down.
Did you guys see it in the moment? Because I saw it in the moment.
Yeah,
And I thought it was clear as day. The way he winced, he was like,
everybody did. Everybody did.
Like, how did the ref miss that?
Literally besides the ref.
Yeah.
There was some questionable reffing the whole night.
Now, wait, if this turns to a no contest, are bets still cash?
Yeah, they can't take your money back now.
What
were you just saying?
Actually, when Greg Hardy had the inhaler, they made it a no contest that night. And because it was so easy, like they didn't even have to review it. I got my money taken away. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't on the Barstool Sportsbook. Wink, wink. Like it was.
It was on.
Not even a competitor. Yeah, before there was even. But this was a while ago, and the money got taken away, which I wasn't mad about because he was probably going to lose that. But what were you gonna? You were gonna.
No. The one. Honestly, the most egregious for everything to me. It was the stand up with Shevchenko.
Oh my god!
She literally was like
she was mid punch.
He had to stop her from throwing punches.
Yeah,
everyone was like, "What are we doing?"
She still landed one too.
And I thought
I missed a headbutt.
Yeah,
because
you were like, "There's no way they would stand him up like this."
Legitimately throwing ground and pound strikes.
There was bad stand ups. There was a bad pull apart from the cage
from Gamrot Turner late in the third.
Yeah,
I thought. I mean, I didn't think it was like egregious, but I was like. Gamrot he worked for that position, had him up against the fence, was working on a takedown, and they split him up. And then Marc-Andre Barriault almost killed Marquez.
He gave him every opportunity.
That and then the Brunson thing too. The Brunson thing where the corner had to throw the towel as he's laying there getting fucking knocked out was like, what is going on there?
I had round 3 8-1 instead of round 2 5-1. So I was hoping. I tweeted immediately, was like, what was that round 3? Because I thought they called it in between the rounds, but there was I didn't even notice it until Lee got a great shot of it.
You could see the towel fly out of the shot. Yeah.
Brunson can be like so dangerous. It's so like interesting to watch him because he does this when he gets hurt. He like does like drunk wobble, but he also is like still like he'll just like he hits so hard.
His first round was pretty great.
He like he's like stumbling forward, like hurting you like badly.
Like a zombie.
It's just like wild to watch him fight. It's so like interesting.
I will say, also I did it. The entire country of South Africa is after me right now.
Really?
On TikTok.
You hate it on Duplessis?
I made a TikTok about how Duplessis says he's the real African.
Okay.
And people are really coming after me. But Duplessis real African. I thought my favorite moment of that fight, obviously, was a banger. But Brunson was just on top of him, had him perfectly. And we've seen Brunson on top of everybody and hold them down. And Duplessis just said, like, pretty much just stuck his feet in the ground and with his zombie strength, just like pushed Derek Brunson off of him. It was crazy. I mean, that's just Duplessis. He's just like
everything about like the Till fight, like every fight is in just like chaos.
Yep.
Absolute chaos. Because he can take a punch, he can throw a punch.
Yeah. Did we mention Till got released, by the way? Did we talk about that?
No, I don't think so. Well, he asked for
his release because he wants to get some stem cells.
Dana talked about
quote stem cells.
Dana talked about. That was one thing I got back. The first thing I watched Dana's presser, and he basically just was like, he said he wants to doesn't think he can compete right now. He needs to get healthy.
Yeah, he said he's not the first guy.
He said he needed he thought he needed 2-3 years, and they asked him like, would you take him back? And he was like, yeah. If he said it like 2-3 years, he thought he was ready. We would give him a shot again.
Yeah.
He said
they have a great relationship.
He said he had no like beef with it personally. He said obviously like things haven't turned out the way they thought. So 5 years ago, say, or however long.
My biggest takeaway from this was, well, I have two, but number one, John Jones' resurgence as like people loving him is fascinating to me.
It's crazy
because he
go ahead.
Because when he left, I think a lot of people were more on your side. Him being kind of a scumbag. Definitely, there was like 2 of his drug failed tests where one was cocaine, one was like a dick pill from the
gas station.
But people were like, "This guy's boring."
Couple fights in a row.
He couldn't finish Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith could have like asked for a DQ with that knee.
He would have got it too.
And then even the Thiago and
a lot of people thought he lost.
He
lost those, and then he comes back, and I swear to God. And it was true because the social media numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I had not seen a hype for that fight since a McGregor fight.
Yeah, no, it's true. Twitter was taken over by UFC. Everyone from Barstool tweeted about it.
Fights was tweeting about Grasso winning. He was like, oh, that was so sick. It was like, I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, McGregor being there, Jake Gyllenhaal filming the scenes helped a ton.
Watching those it was pretty wild to watch.
That looked awesome.
It was sick.
Like I was texting, I actually texted Dana about that, and I was like, that was fucking sick. And I said something like that was an egregious barbaric stoppage, and he was like, LMAO, loved social media for it. They said that the UFC told us that a bunch of people were hitting the UFC up thinking it was real because of the Barstool posts. They thought Jake Gyllenhaal was like actually fighting.
They did a few other scenes other than that. They did like his walkout scene too.
Yep.
When he walks out for the fight and everything, like gets in the cage, like all fired up. But I was gonna say about it, just being physically in Vegas, he was Michael Jordan.
Dude,
John
it's
Jones.
insane.
There was not a soul everyone wore John Jones. Everyone was like, John Jones is the best. My favorite.
Yes.
There was not a bad word spoken about John Jones that I heard in 3 days that I was there.
Which is insane.
Everybody was like, John, it was like John Jones, John, like everyone was like, he's the biggest fan of his in the world.
Because he was also like kind of coming off like a sociopath this week.
Yes, and he was, I mean, the entire time he's like, I'm just so, that's the best way to say it. Sociopath.
Yeah, which is how he always is. Like I remember after one of his comebacks, he was like, "Oh, what's up, Joseph?" Like to Joe Rogan. He goes, "Joseph is your full name?" That's what the first thing he said to him in his post-fight interview. And Joe Rogan was like, "Yeah, dude, like let's talk about the fight." And it was such a weird, like condescending, like talking down to him thing. That's how John always comes off to him. Like they said, like, "Oh, what are you feeling in this?" When he went up to the desk, "What are you feeling in this moment?" "I'm just feeling grateful to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because, I couldn't do this without him. And I want to fucking tell Francis Ngannou that he's got the biggest muscles and the biggest fucking pussy."
Yes.
And it's like, well, those things don't go hand in hand, John.
It was funny that he called him a pussy. Actually, I'm saying in total, like dead serious, the biggest loser of that night is Francis Ngannou, without question.
So
really
I
is.
I think Uncle Chael was dead right.
Dead on.
That aged really well for him.
And this made it way worse for Francis.
How many
Way
pay-per-view
worse.
buys would Deontay Wilder, Francis Ngannou do? 100?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Those
Like,
are
yeah,
no
people don't care about
disrespect to
that
Amanda
fight.
Nunes and Megan Anderson, but those are Amanda Nunes, Megan Anderson, and then peak of COVID numbers.
Maybe a little more than that if you're being generous. But I mean, what Chael said is down. Like, there's no one to promote it, and people are not begging for with like the McGregor, like for example, like McGregor Mayweather. People are like begging. For
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Like no one's begging for this.
And it's also two guys that can sell a fight so well. Deontay can sell a fight pretty well.
But they're
Francis
guys,
is getting better.
Francis is a guy
But
who can sell a fight with like his skill set.
exactly.
He doesn't sell a fight like
You can't send them on the world
I
tour.
said it to Chael, like he's not McGregor on the mic. Like he sells it with being like the hardest hitter in the world. Like,
Yeah.
That's how he does it.
Speaking of McGregor, this episode is brought to us by Proper 12.
Check it out, the new one.
Yeah,
Irish apple.
whiskey.
Have you guys smelled this?
No,
Smells absolutely.
open it up if
it's
you
very
want to.
nice.
It's legit the best smelling whiskey I've ever
It is very
smelled.
Shout out Proper 12.
Obviously, the taste is great as well.
They'll be with us for a lot of
Liquid
March,
Gold.
which is huge
Can't
because
get
I
it
mean,
open.
what a fucking fight night or fight month. But then Proper number 12, St. Patty's Day this
Can you
weekend.
get it open?
How about them apples?
On Friday, right? The 17th, St. Patty's Day? Or no? Yeah, St. Patty's Day is 17th.
So is that this? No, next week.
Next, like 2 weekends from now, right?
Which is always great. Oh, there we go.
Smells
Yeah,
like
it
a
does.
like a apple Jolly Rancher.
It literally is like if you walk through like an apple orchard.
Also,
Yeah.
such a great looking bottle. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
really did well.
That's good stuff.
Oh yeah,
mean,
it smells like apple juice. Smell that.
We love.
Everyone's taking a
Oh
whiff.
my God,
I'm sure it's
the
great for
Jolly
the
Rancher.
podcast, right?
Apple.
Smells fucking great. I mean, it's pretty early, so we'll take the shots later on in the day. When we're
But-
in the office.
Shout out Proper 12. Go pick up the original or the new.
Yeah.
What is it? Just
Irish apple.
Irish apple, right?
Yeah.
and
Get the new one for St. Patty's Day. Let your friends try it. That's like a fun thing to bring to a St. Patty's Day pregame and be like,
yeah.
hey, check it out. Connor's got a new whiskey. And I saw people in the chat were asking about the Connor interview because Dana said during my interview, oh, fly out to Vegas to let you watch Tough Fights, interview Connor. We are setting that up. I don't think I'm supposed to say like what day it is because it's like filming days, but it's like not this week, maybe sometime next week or the week after, but it is like in the works. I'm absolutely
Can't
trying
wait
to
to
set
watch
that up.
that.
That'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
I was saying, should I get a suit for that interview?
Well,
But my thing is though, if you get a suit, I think you got to go like McGregor's style.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just go like a black tux. You got to go like something like you
Something
got to
plaid or something.
yeah, something like a little colorful,
right.
little
Did you
little
see
nice
him?
pocket
or
square.
maybe like a Gucci shirt like he was wearing at the
You
fights.
could.
Did you see him
Bring your girl
coaching?
and just have her rub your chest.
That
That was so funny.
It was a little strange
It
how
was,
much he
but
was rubbing his chest.
It was hysterical.
And they
She-
didn't
she
zoom
was-
out to
she was-
show her.
Yeah,
she was
no.
cut off, so it was just Gyllenhaal and him, and you just see a female hand.
Almost
Obviously-
weird that they
obviously
cut
it
her
was
off
his wi- it was
too.
his wife,
Yeah,
but
because
As if like people
everyone
don't know who
knows
D
her,
Devlin
yeah.
is. Yeah.
hysterical.
But yeah, sitting next to Gyllenhaal, and yeah, he was like
I think it was
screaming
Ian
coaching
Gary.
instructions.
I think it was Ian Gary.
Yeah, slip the hand,
And it was
slip
like-
the hand, go back.
Did you see it?
And
No,
Gyllenhaal's
it was
like sitting next
he
to
was
him like
doing it
this,
to- he
just
was
like
doing it to
casually.
somebody else. Even
I think it was
no,
Grasso.
it was Jalen Turner. I think he was.
Was it?
I think so.
Wow.
Because I think he was rooting for a striker, a fellow striker. Like, hey,
Makes
like,
sense. Yeah.
That actually was going to
He was
bring
like,
up
throw
too.
it with some passion. Yeah, there you go.
I think it was Jalen Turner. What's his name got booed out of the place? Gamrot.
Yeah, he did.
The pigs hated that fight. Which
Yeah.
That's a fight that any arena would
I
hate.
understand. Like but
On
also
that
like
card too.
he did what he had to do.
Yeah.
Like you cannot take that fight 10 days notice. Go fight a guy with like 8-inch reach.
Yeah.
Jalen Turner's a monster.
Looked so much bigger in there.
You have a clear.
Dude,
You have a clear
He
grappling
looked
edge.
So big.
Huge. You have a clear grappling edge. Your clear path to victory. He had to do what he had to do to win that fight.
And Jalen's going to be fine.
Dude,
I think.
Jalen's a beast.
And when
Absolute
you're on that
beast.
card, like a fight like that is going to stand out. Like it was such a good card that it stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yep.
But it wouldn't on like an Apex card.
Because you can even see the end of the fight, like it ended with he had Jalen Turner kind of against the cage thing and now just like on his
Yeah.
ass. And the fight ended, you could see like Gamrot kind of gave him like the good fight, and Turner was just kind of this very like you could tell he was pissed. Like he was like, I wanted to like fight. Like we like
Yeah.
and
He wanted to fight, he would have got against Dan Hooker.
And when he did touch him, he was hurting him.
You saw his tweet after?
No, I didn't.
He was like, I came out to J. Cole this time, so I got to switch it up. It was like, so who should I walk? What should I walk out to next? I mean, I thought Jalen, like, I get why you'd be mad, but he took it like he fought really well. And I would even say his takedown defense was actually pretty good.
It wasn't horrible
because Gamrot struggled at points, and I think if that was a 5-round fight, you never know because he hurt him a few times.
See, I thought Gamrot definitely had won the fight. Like I thought that people think like I just didn't think Turner did enough.
Yeah.
Like, when he touched him, he wasn't hurting him, but I didn't think he hurt him enough to justify like everything else.
Especially second round, he ended it like in mount position, and he was kind of like wailing on him. But
one of the judges gave the split that Turner 29-28,
and
he gave Turner round 3. He didn't do anything.
Yeah,
I don't know if he landed a punch in round 3.
Yeah,
it didn't make sense. Like that's the only reason. Like I thought like there was no way he should have won. But that and then just the Grasso was like she looked so good.
Yeah, I
mean, she was beating her on the feet.
Incredible in the first round, and then it seemed like Valentina like started to take over for a little bit, and then. But the way she took the back was as fast as I've ever seen anyone take
I think
a
in
back.
the beginning, I think the first round, I think Shevchenko had the mindset I could beat her, like I can beat her both ways.
Yeah.
And then I think Grasso came out hot, like she cut her nose, and was like hit her a few times pretty good. And I think then she was like, shit, like looks like I've got to wrestle.
She landed like a ton in the first
Grasso
round.
looked great striking, and then Shevchenko got the wrestling going. That worked a little bit. But no, with the way she took the back was insane.
Grasso
like the fight was like, oh my god, this
double
is
hooks
jeopardy.
it immediately.
Yeah,
arm on right on the chin, like getting like working it. And I noticed what Rogan said immediately because they had it on the jumbotron.
Oh,
I saw
color difference.
I said to my boy, I was like, "Yo, did you see that?"
Yeah.
And her like literally the mark on her face was insane.
Yeah, it was like she was like about to pop her head off.
I've never seen someone's skin that pale. Like it was
like purple on the top, like purple red.
Because her head was so red and it was like sickly pale.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
She almost won that. Like, yeah, no, Grasso, even on the ground, there was no point I felt like Shev was gonna finish that fight.
No chance.
No,
I didn't think so either.
I thought it was like, okay, we're going like maybe.
I did think I was gonna cash that decision.
Yes, I thought.
I literally was saying when in the middle of the fourth round, I listened to my boy. I was like, "Yo, if she can like finish this fourth round strong, this fifth round is anyone's fight."
Yeah,
and then she ended up just taking the back, and it was over. But
Grasso, yeah. I mean, that's 3 champions now for Mexico. Although we put it, right? I put that up immediately, and I just knew it was going to go off for our Twitter. Our Twitter was crazy on the night. That's how I knew how big.
Yeah,
but because Lee filmed 2 of the Grasso submission and then the John Jones, UFC DMCA the Spinning Backfist Twitter account.
They smacked us right on the wrist.
They smacked us, but the account's still up. All that being said, Magic immediately said, not to our tweet, but another tweet. It's like there's only 2 Mexican champions
because the interim.
Because he hates Yair.
Okay. The post-fight interviews in that fight, I thought were both good. Like Grasso handling it in the like, I can't believe I just like won the title way, like having that elation, and then Valentina being like, obviously I want the rematch. We need to do this again. and you're going to have to do the rematch. And I feel bad for Blanchfield, but maybe you run back Blanchfield Santos while they do that.
Yeah, I saw a lot of similarities in Shevchenko. Obviously, Usman didn't get to speak right after the fight, but like a lot of that, like almost there was almost a little bit of like relief. I feel like, because she was very gracious to Grasso, gave her a big hug. Immediately after was like, great job, like fair and square kind of thing. I saw that immediately that like when you're just that like dominant for so long, I'm sure that pressure must be brutal. And her last fight, I'm sure like a lot of people give her a shit. I thought Santos won that one, even close fight, but if she doesn't headbutt her, I think Santos definitely would have won that.
Yeah.
Kind of threw off the last like few rounds. She couldn't see out of one eye. She was getting outstruck, but I definitely felt like that kind of vibe from like the Usman after he lost vibe. Like, all right, like I lost. It's like it's all good.
Yeah,
she can win again
on a 9-fight win streak. She was same as Bobby Lang. They both got their streaks broken at 9-0 this weekend. That is fucking tough.
Yeah. I didn't get to see that. I've got to watch that fight.
It was a really good fight.
I didn't get to watch
another one.
I just saw he was bloodied up.
Unfortunately, that was a headbutt. 2 headbutts.
Oh, really?
One headbutt cut him open, then third. One headbutt cut him open in the first, and it clearly had an impact on him.
That's annoying. Yeah, that's annoying.
So we're gonna have to probably run that one back. And Dada 5000 was at Rough and Rowdy.
I saw that.
How crazy is that?
Yeah,
walked right past me. I think he was largest guest. Large was like, "Oh yeah, my guest Dada." I was like, "Dada 5000." He was like, "Yep, that's him." I was like, "Unreal." Dada 5000 was there. There was a couple NASCAR guys there. I think Spider must have been fired up about that. Or no, UFC was NASCAR.
There was a bunch
I just got my fights confused
because they did the race yesterday in Vegas.
Yeah, so I saw a bunch of them in there. There was a bunch of celebrities: Travis Barker, Mark Wahlberg, Tom Brady. Obviously,
yeah, Brady got a huge bump.
It was very interesting because I don't think it was our account. I don't think Lee tweeted, but somebody else tweeted like there should have been World War III in the crowd because there was McGregor,
Diaz brothers,
Makhachev, Ali was there.
Dana must have been sitting them on all sides.
I walked by Ali in the casino like late night.
Really?
Yeah, he was with Latifi.
Oh, that's funny. I just imagine Latifi on the horse at all times, even in a casino, just on a horse.
No neck, Latifi.
Well, I walked by Bisping too. Bisping was there, and he just walking by with his wife. We just like cross paths.
I walked past former Bellator fighter and current WWE wrestler Bobby Lashley at the airport on the way to Rough and Rowdy.
He's probably huge.
Huge. I didn't say anything to him. I wanted to just leave him alone. He had headphones on.
Roan
also saw someone from the Chiefs. Big Keem, was it? Is that someone on the Chiefs? Big Keem. Called him like Big
Kareem
Keef.
Hunt?
Big Keem. Called him something like that, but I swear Roan lowered his voice 10 octaves to say hi to this guy. He's like, Big Keem, what's going on? The guy turned around. Me and Spider were like, what the fuck was that? Really funny, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was something like that. I'll ask him later. Sounded like.
Oh, yeah, Mario Lopez.
Yeah, he's a huge UFC fan.
They showed it after the Grasso. He was like, Viva la Mexico. Like,
McGregor was saying that, too. You see the clip of him saying that?
Honestly, I swear to God, the guy that was like group that was behind me, the whole fight there was like Mexico, and then all of a sudden the whole crowd got into it and started chanting Mexico. And this was even like the first second round.
Yeah,
it was a pro Grasso crowd from the jump.
Let me ask you guys this: what do you do with Bo Nickel from here? Do you have a slow build because he's still been training MMA for under 2 years? He's 3-4-0, whatever he is, or do you send him on the Hamzat blueprint?
Well, Hamzat fought like 3 tomato cans first.
Yeah.
Actually, not 3.
Well, I mean, GM3 is not.
No, that's what I was going to say. Let me take a step back. Meerschaert wasn't, but
2 tomato cans.
Like Phillips, McKee's done well in Cage Warriors, but he's not going to compete for like a UFC belt.
Yeah.
And then who else? Meerschaert's no tomato can, good fighter. That was insane that he knocked him out like that.
Crazy.
And even going up to 185 at that time when he was still 170.
And Dana said at the presser he hopes that Hamzat just stays at 185.
Also, he said that Colby is like actually like ready to fight.
Yeah.
Thank God. Because Rachmanov called out Colby. I thought it was a great call out.
It was, and Dana seemed like, all right, that's a good call
Also,
out.
one thing I want to speak up to, because that was the biggest takeaway. One of the bigger takeaways I had is Rachmanov's chin is made of granite.
Crazy.
The shots that I tweeted in the second round, I was like, I cannot believe the shots that he's eating, and he's like smiling at him.
Yeah.
And then finally, the beginning of the third round, he hurt him. The one he stumbled him back. I was all right, like this guy's human. Jesus Christ.
Jeff Neal. I mean, what a performance.
Neal has a chin of steel.
Both of them. Yeah, that was like
insane.
And it's great. Neal did get the bonus, even though he wasn't.
I was really glad.
That was cool.
That was the first thing I thought of. I was like, dude, he's not even gonna get the bonus. This dude just fought his ass off.
I'm with Lee. Winner of I tweet off.
Yeah. Fight for GM3.
I tweet off Spinning Backfist.
Or GM3 if he wins that.
Shit! Here we go again. I tweeted that meme off Spinning Backfist.
I don't hate the idea from Lee. Dana loves Piper. He is not going to do that to him.
He does love Piper.
He loves Piper. He is not putting Piper in boat.
I feel like they got Piper in the video game like that. If I'm correct,
they did.
There's certain guys who use now. Dana is like he's like fun. He just one of those guys like he loves you. Like people like he just has like a thing for. He like takes care of them.
Yeah.
And I think like Piper was very clear. He literally gave him $20,000 like after the
oh, that's good.
Fight.
Yeah, Gerald Mearshot, one of the UFC calls him to offer a bow nickel fight. Oh shit, here we go again.
No, that I think someone posted that one about when no one exists Rakhmonov and Gilbert Burns is to fight.
Yeah.
The only badass that'll fight him.
That fight would be sick. I mean, Burns against Rock.
That's what I'm saying. You say it, and you're like, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
What would you line Rakhmonov against Colby? Mine's like 180.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a good
for
question.
Rakhmonov or Colby?
Rakhmonov, I think.
I think that's almost a pick 'em.
I don't know. Rakhmonov's so well rounded. He's so big too.
By the way,
would you favor Rakhmonov against
oh my god
Kamaru?
I don't
no,
know, man.
I don't think you can.
Well, I think
it'd be interesting to see what like the line movement.
I think the big conversation from the weekend was what we do line him and Hamzat.
I know.
The Twitter.
But I don't know if Hamzat's ever coming back to 180.
The Twitter consensus seemed that they loved Hamzat in that fight.
I think I like Hamzat in that fight.
Dude, that fight would be that'd be one I would tell my parents, like, you have to watch this.
These are just two like
you have
these are just two like warrior people. Like these.
Yeah.
Did you watch the thing on UFC YouTube they did about him? He was he's so proud. He's like we're just like the kind of people are just like we're just like warrior like all force.
He just drinks like raw milk.
And
he
drinks raw milk
and potatoes.
No, he eats horse meat.
Horse meat, sorry.
He eats horse meat and drinks just straight like milk like out of the udder. they don't do nothing with it straight out the udder in his mouth. Like,
oh my god.
Just pure like he's a savage.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you guys this. They really built it up, and I get why they would. But does Jones Stipe do it for you?
No. I think
it does for me.
Well, listen,
I like that fight. Yeah.
I just think he's gonna smoke Stipe, in my opinion.
My head says that as well. My heart says maybe the Stipe that fought DC in that trilogy can come back. Now the issue is the age Stipe is, you start to age quicker when you start getting older, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know if Stipe can present a challenge, but I think out of all the heavyweights available right now, he's the one I want to see fight Jones.
You want to know who I actually think could give him like just stylistically?
Curtis Blades.
Blade. I was gonna say Blades. Stylistically, Blades just because of the wrestling, he's strong.
But that one, I'm like, is that going to turn into like a grapple fest?
Sergey, I feel like we just haven't like. I want to see Sergey getting a war.
Yeah,
every fight he just knocks the guy out like super fast. So like he's incredible, but I'd say we haven't.
Aspinall would be.
I'm glad
Aspinall
would be interesting.
Imagine
I just think Jones that's
like Aspinall in London would be sick.
But just levels. I love Aspinall, but just
also John's not going to London to fight.
Do you guys think John is going to fight more than one time?
Yes.
I saw some people speculating on his comments after the fight. I think there's a chance. I'm not saying it's confirmed. I think there's a chance he fights Stipe and retires.
There was a lot of talk
out of the question
before this fight that he was going to retire after that,
like win a heavyweight title,
and then be like, "Hey, this was it. I wanted to do this, and like the heavyweight division's yours."
The way he was talking about it, he's like, "This fight means more to me than any other. It's GOAT versus GOAT. Like I'm the GOAT, he's the heavyweight GOAT. Like this fight is the legacy fight. You need to stop being a firefighter," which is a fucking savage line when he's like, I would recommend you hang up the firefighter boots for a while and start training to beat me, buddy. I was like, oh, that sent chills up my spine. But I think there's a real good chance he beats Stipe and retires.
No, I kind of agree with you because it's like the perfect so it's what you said perfectly, set up perfectly. Like it's the perfect combination of you're facing what everyone considers the most accomplished heavyweight champion of all time. You won the belt, you're defending it right up in the suns, and all combined all that. A lot of people don't think it's gonna be a hard. Like I think in his mind, it's not a hard fight.
And if he goes in there, but also if he goes in there and mauls him, like, is there part of John Jones that's like, why would I retire? I could just keep mauling.
I think
maybe you're not wrong. I think
about that. Like I think there's a part of him that really wants to fight Francis again. Or not again. He really wants to fight.
He
Francis.
wants to fight him in the first place. Too. Well, I don't think they'll make it happen though. I think unless Francis tucks his tail between his legs and he's like,
he would have to.
Yeah,
like, he'd have to.
Dana would have make him like apologize. Be like, I'm
You
sorry.
make him wear a dunce cap at the press conference.
He's like, hey, Danny, you remember that offer we talked about? I go, why don't we just do that?
yeah.
What if we just went back in
still
time
on the table?
and I just signed it?
Yeah.
How's that sound?
I'm surprised still that the PFL hasn't signed Francis, to be honest. I thought they would pick him up right away.
Well, no, I think Francis, he what he really wants is the boxing match, and it's just not happening.
Yeah.
No one really cares about it.
Yeah, and the PFL's not going to like pick him up to promote a boxing match.
No. I mean, if he wants to, like, but it's like the million.
I'm not interested in a boxing match. I want to see him fight in a
I'm
cage.
not interested in him in PFL.
Yeah, I want to see him. Yeah.
You're going to win the $1 million. You could have fought John Jones
true.
for $8 million 2 nights ago.
Fact.
So it's like you're going to run through, and they obviously pay him, like, PFL would pay him more than that. But I'm saying,
do you think Francis
not more than
like,
$8 million for a season? Probably.
Do you think he realizes that he's like,
yes,
he's cornered in a bit?
I think he won't admit it.
I think this tonight or that fight might have made him finally be like, hey, maybe we did do the wrong thing. I don't know. I don't know how he's feeling. I'm curious.
Because like I know his name got brought up. Like his name got brought up at the presser, and John like said he got the biggest pussy or whatever. The casual person that watched UFC 285, which is the most tweeted about event ever, they didn't even realize that Francis was like in the discussion. They're like, "Oh, John Jones is back, greatest heavyweight of all time. He's gonna fight Stipe next. Cool. I'll tune into that."
Francis, he obviously like for English wasn't his first language. Like his English getting a lot better. He's more well spoken than he was. Like, but it's still like he's not fully like he's not like you said, he's not a talker on the mic. He doesn't really like most casual fans. You never heard him speak. You might have just seen your UFC friend fan like just showed you his knocking him over, and you're like, oh wow, that guy's scary. And that's about what you know about him.
Eric in the chat says, "Come on, you would watch Francis versus Wilder."
I would watch it, absolutely,
no doubt. But we're saying,
I don't think people are
people like we need to see that fight. Like, would you rather see that, or would you rather see Francis back in the UFC? I think if you polled people, it would be like 90%, 10%.
Because if they did, like now, especially now, if Francis did come back, that would just make the story even bigger.
True.
If he went through Stipe and they were able to somehow make that amends and make a Francis John Jones,
they need to make him the big dick booty daddy contract. Francis is like, I'll come back, and if I don't knock him out, I get $0. Otherwise, I get X amount, and that's the contract they make. That would cause for a hell of a lot of drama in that. Speaking of drama, Ian Gary's fight. You weren't in the arena for it. I assume you've seen the highlights. Of course,
yeah.
He gets dropped bad in the first round.
Yeah,
like
big hook.
Kind of did the thing where like his arms come over, rocked, recovers pretty well. Like it took him maybe 30 seconds to like get his legs under him finally, but recovered well, comes back and puts on a hell of a show in the next 2 rounds, to the point where in the 3rd round, he basically went out there. He's like, I'm about to go 11-0. Screamed in the guy's face and then just turned it on and knocked him out.
His face, Kanon's face at the end was insane.
I was all blown up.
Both the one eye was way worse, but it was. I mean, Jesus.
Did you see the guy try to fight him after?
Someone tried to fight Ian Gary?
Yes.
Wait, no.
Unbelievable. This guy
in the crowd?
No, like in the parking lot type thing. Like
what?
And Gary was wearing. He was literally going white, like he was wearing like a tuxedo without the jacket, like white,
with his wife,
like a white button down. Yes, and like in like a black tie.
How did I not?
Or
see
black
this?
like bow tie.
I didn't tweet it. It was like the person who got the video was a competitor, the one that Jake Paul and Bo Nichols with, and I didn't want to tweet it, but the guy was just like, and Ian Gary was just like looking at him. He's like, dude, do you really want to do this? He was like,
what was he saying?
He was just talking shit to him. I don't know if you could really.
Ian was going like into a car.
Yeah, like he's just got to look. Obviously, it was like a more like the guy was like pretty buff, whatever. He's looking at probably Garrett, skinny, like young white kid, blonde hair.
Yeah,
you could tell Garrett's looking at him like, bro, like I don't think you realize who you're talking to right now,
dude. I just knocked someone out in the UFC on pay-per-view.
It was very clear he did not know who
Ian Gary would have like flatlined this guy.
Of course.
I mean, yeah, just
he flatlined any known guy. Sure. Yeah. Oh my God, the way he turned it up in that finishing sequence was like smell blood in the water, foot to the gas. Oh my God. And I love the clip. Either you or Lee posted. I assume you.
That one's great.
The side by side of him learning from his mistakes, like the hook, him checking it, him dodging it.
That was a great clip.
That was sick. That was like that Matrix level stuff.
I got to bounce, boys.
Yep.
Pick Central. Yeah. Go get in Pick Central. Thanks for joining us. Great live account from Ev. Anything else from the chat that we missed in UFC 285 that you guys want to talk about? Or I guess MMA news, if anything go down since 285? Oh,
not really.
Dana at the presser. This was interesting to me. Dana at the presser said Connor and Chandler were friendly going into the season, or at least like friendly enough. And they are no longer friendly because something happened on Friday. And Dana kind of alluded to like things getting physical. He was like,
think he's trying to build up?
I don't know, because they said, do you think it's going to be like good for the show? And he thought about it for a sec. He's like, I don't really think about things like that. He just said, like, if I were younger, I would have got in there a lot quicker. That's all I'll say.
Oh, so it was bad.
And I'm like, if you were younger, you would have got in there quicker. Like, did punches get thrown? Did things get physical? Like, because Chandler was also at the fights. McGregor was at the fights. McGregor was in the celeb section, though, away from all the fighters. I think they were like, we cannot allow that to happen.
Because all the fighters were together, like Islam Ali. Who else was there? Henry was there. Aljamain was there. There's been some funny clips of like Aljo and Henry with each other. You see the clip of Henry pretty much predicting what was
pretty crazy.
Happen.
Yeah, Henry Cejudo is him.
He really is. It's kind of crazy.
You see the clip of him and Cejudo talking shit backstage too.
Yeah,
classic.
Cejudo's
or him and Aljo. I meant.
That's a fight. It's going to be in Newark. I mean, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really interesting to see how Henry looks. I'm trying. Chandler is kind of like. There's a report that he's calling out McGregor for 185. Dude, like, 185 would be insane.
I said, keep going. Do it at heavyweight. Let's see what happens.
I almost feel like McGregor would be like, okay, we can do it there.
I don't think, McGregor's like, he loves like the aesthetic of like, I'm the big gorilla in the jungle. Like, look at me now.
The only thing is with him at 185, obviously Connor's advantage has always been at 155 and then 145. He's always been just so much faster than everybody. Much, he punches with so much more. So I would see why you wouldn't want to do it, but Chandler's the same way. The reason he's so great at what his weight class is because the power he possesses in that weight class is different.
And he's super fast for a guy with as much power as he has. What else do we got from the chat? Ian Gary's Instagram post was classless. Did you see? Yeah, you texted it to the group chat. Ian Gary posted a picture of his opponent's face, Kenan, all blown up, and he basically said, when you sign a contract to fight me, I take it personally, and I make sure you regret that choice.
So Ian's been on with us. He's been nothing but nice.
Super nice guy,
he's gonna, if he keeps acting this way, I sent to the group chat.
Yeah.
People are gonna throw a parade when he loses. Because he has that weird kind of John Jones like niceness, but it's cringe as fuck.
He's on the fence where he is so nice, and like
talking
to him, we know he is like, he is a nice guy. But when you make a post like that after like introducing your opponent to your baby in the week and everything, the opponent was so gracious during everything, like, and the opponent dropped you in the fight, like rocked you is worse than you've ever been in your career. I did think that Instagram post was like, oh, that was a bit much.
And throughout the whole week,
it's like, I don't know, like at the same time, it's got us talking, got a lot of people talking. Like,
I mean, it's smart by him. Like, and I mean, his nickname's The Future, and he's a great fighter. I mean, like his striking is elite. When he runs into like a really great wrestler, it's going to be interesting to see how he does. That being said, he has been. I just think people are gonna, especially in the MMA community, are going to be a little bit like just with him.
Is this true? Is Tim Sylvia Pete Davidson's bodyguard?
I didn't know that,
please tell me that's true. Please tell me you're not fucking with us right now.
Are you worried if the fight in Newark they might not have it? I'm like, no, they won't give up Madison Square Garden purse.
Madison Square Garden, I think, is like, I don't think they have a yearly deal, but I think they have like a handshake.
It's like a residency.
Yeah, where it's
first weekend of November.
And Dana also brought up New York City at the press conference this week. He said, like, they said, is there any date that you could give us for McGregor Chandler? And he's like, no. He said, we're still considering all options. That could be a New York City fight. That could be a Vegas fight. That could be a stadium fight.
The New York City fight for that
would be insane.
MSG prices would be insane.
It would be insane, but also like the Irish taking over New York would be the greatest thing in the world.
Would be sick.
The way that they were for UFC 205 outside the arena, which I wasn't even at. I went to the weigh-ins the night before and just like started partying with the Irish people outside, jumping up and down, singing the Connor songs.
The weigh-ins for
my God, it was
UFC
so much
285,
fun.
Like, or for 205, there was like 10,000 people in the arena.
They basically, like, it was free tickets, but they sold it out. You know, like it was no seats available. That would be awesome. He's been his bodyguard for at least 3 years now. Holy shit. I did not know that, but that is one of my favorite fun facts that I've learned this year. So shout out Hot Billy in the chat for that one. Unreal.
I think Pete Davidson did get into a car crash yesterday. Hopefully he's all right.
Pete Davidson did?
Yeah, but I
Unreal.
don't think it was that bad. But there
Hopefully
was one.
him and Tim Sylvia is all right.
Then he has a new
car.
girlfriend. I forget what her name is, but I think they were involved. I saw it on TMZ. Hopefully they're all right.
Newark fights are always awesome. I agree. My brother actually, when I was like, I guess first getting into the UFC, like right after Brock debuted, they had a card in Newark, and my brother went, and I remember being so jealous. But he was like, "I can't bring a kid to the fights. Like, you got to be an adult to go to these things."
Which one was it? Was it?
I don't remember the specific card, but I was even more jealous when my brother came home, because at this point, my favorite fighters were Forrest Griffin and Rampage Jackson. They were like the UFC video game fighters. They were the coolest to play as in the video game. My brother walked in with Rampage Jackson's like Mafia and just like blended in. Like my brother, my uncle walked in and like got patted down with Rampage Jackson, his entire squad, the crew he was rolling with. And then they just walked in together. They like spent 10 minutes together. Rampage was like, "Who are you guys?" And they're like, "We're just fans. We walked in with you." And he was like, "That's hysterical." And like they went their separate ways.
That's what a story.
The one and only card my brother has ever gone to. My brother's not really a UFC fan. Like he'll watch a big fight here and there, watch Quinn Connor fights and stuff. But yeah, crazy. My brother was way more into the UFC video game. When those first came out, that was like a big thing in my family. Me, my brother, my uncle, we would have tournaments for custom belts. Yeah. Classic stuff. And they would have real tournaments for a belt that they had on the fly floor of the Gershwin Theater, like where they have Wicked. He made a custom belt and everything. It was great. But that was the Spinnin Backfist MMA show for
John
March
Jones
6th.
won his first title in Newark.
Oh, he did, yeah. And Dylan Dennis, I think, met him at that card. There's that picture of Dylan Dennis as a kid with John Jones. I'm pretty sure that's at that card.
Dylan Dennis, by the way, what's next for John Jones? Dylan Dennis.
Exactly. Dylan Dennis called out John Jones, so obviously that's the fight to make, and that's the fight we'll see next.
I love that he like hit up like one of his graphic designers and was like, "Yo, can you make a graphic of me and John?" It's like, "Yeah, I got you, bro.
Got you, bro. Yes, say less." All right. Make sure you like the video. Thank you to everyone for tuning in today, and we'll be back later this week. Also, thank you to Proper 12, the Irish Apple. Go get the Irish Apple liquid gold right here. And oh my God.
How about them apples?
How about them apples? Ooh, smells like apple juice.
We should get two. You know that like that video of McGregor where he has them like they'll do it when they come back from commercial.
Oh, when he walks
he's up, like this.
Yeah.
And then it like goes in reverse.
Proper number 12, Irish whiskey, liquid gold, something like that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in.